Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Educated Clones Snap channel. How you doing? So today we have a pretty interesting video for you today. Marvel Snap released a survey for everyone to participate in, except PC players, basically. But overall, they dropped it. If you go to the news section of your Marvel Snap tab in iOS or Android, you should be able to see it. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it. So if you want to actually watch me do it, I'm thinking about doing it on stream, but by the time this is out, it'll probably be done. So you'll probably have to check the VODs. But I may do it on stream. However, I'm not going to do it for the video, right? I think I want people to have the option of making their own opinions, right? Like if I do it in a video like this, then you guys will just I know how humans work. You'll just kind of copy it. And I don't want that, right? I want people to actually make their own decisions in a survey like this and talk about the things they care about, right? Cuz if you just follow along with me, right, you're probably going to have the same feelings that I do, which I don't want to have on a video. If you want to watch it live, then sure we can discuss it, blah blah blah. But for a video, don't really want to do that. So let's begin. So here I do have the my phone and here so if you wanted to get the survey, you have to go to this news tab, right? I'm clicking on it and then you see March survey. You'd have to click on that survey and then it'll lead you to the survey. So that's actually how you would get the survey. Now, what I want to showcase is scrolling all the way down to the bottom. Well, near the bottom. It's not actually at the bottom. So here we have this optional any other feedback comments about the game regarding to whatever, right? Any other feedback comments. What I actually recommend is for you to do this first. Because usually what's going to happen is if you do the survey in order, by the time you actually hit this, you're not really going to have the same feelings that you would have if you do it first. You're not going to talk about what you want, and maybe the things you talk about get addressed earlier, and then you don't feel the need to talk about it here. I don't think that's good. I want you want the players or the not the players, but you want the designers to know this is a critical issue from you, right? So let's say, oh, they say something about fixing bots, then you're like, okay, they're gonna fix or they might fix bots. Let's not talk about it here. That's the wrong idea. You want to drill it to them that this is a very important issue, things like that. So my main recommendation is to kind of address this one first, then go back and then redo the rest of the survey. So that would be my thought process there. Now, I do have um, something to talk about in terms of this. If you need help here, I kind of made a list of some points I would think you should think about. Now, you don't have to put every single thing in the survey, that's a little much, but I did want to kind of showcase some of the things you may be thinking about or you should be thinking about when you're answering that particular question. So, here are some topics to consider essentially for this. So obviously matchmaking is a big deal that a lot of people have issues with, right? The matchmaking doesn't feel fair. You can kind of go into your details or your personal experience of how the matchmaking has been for you and what you think it should be, right? Like try to put what you think should be so that they can like track that feedback and then make decisions off of that. Bots, right? I basically personally fight nonstop bots. I've made 3 accounts in the game and they all get bots. Like all of them get bots. They're all over well, they're all near over 600 and they all get bots. Like it doesn't really matter for me. It just seems if you get into a high win rate, you'll get into bot territory. So like my account, it's like 800 collection level. It'll get bots or it'll get someone 4,000 plus collection level. Like those are like the only two difficulties I get. So definitely think bots could be adjusted in some way, and you could go deep into bot territory. Like you could make a whole topic, a whole feedback section just about the bots itself. But I just want to toss it in there. That's something to talk about. Draft arena mode. Now this is just a me thing. I've talked about this a lot. This is like my most favorite, or the thing I want the most in the game. A draft mode. Essentially arena mode, Hearthstone style. This is me just saying, if you add that in, I'll be like, yeah. But it's not that big of a deal for most people. So I just put it in there. The card acquisition rate, right? Like how often you get cards, especially once you complete Series 3. That could be definitely something you want to talk about in the game, your experience with that. Even as a new player, it might not feel fair because, oh, I have there. It's between collection level 500 and 3,500. I could get one of 100 cards essentially. That kind of thing feels so weird if I don't get the card I want, or blah blah blah, right? Like that could definitely be a big talking point if you want to put that in your options. Card balance, right? So obviously not all the cards are balanced in the same way, and cards can be dominating or mess with the meta. You can talk about that in whatever way you want. And then the balance frequency. So besides just balancing, like 1 point adjustments that they tend to do mostly, you could also talk about how often they balance, whether you want more balances, less balances, you like how it is now. That kind of thing is also something you could talk about. Now, early player benefits. Now, I guess the way I set this, it sounds like there are benefits for early players. And by early players, that might mean newer players. By early players, I'm talking about people who started the game earlier than you did, right? They're going to have a higher collection level. They're going to have more options, more cards. It's a big benefit essentially. And you might want to talk about, is there a way to kind of equalize that huge benefit that people that started early in the game, people that started in beta have? Is there any topics or discussions to kind of equalize that feature of the game to make it more streamlined, where I don't feel like I'm screwed because I started 3 months late or 4 months late? Because right now I would say like it's hard to compete with those players in most circumstances. The series pass, whether you like the series pass, whether you don't like the series pass, whether you like the amount of credits to gold to variance ratio, whether you like that the free system gives you like 0 or 1 variant versus you'll get 5 if you pay. Like, do you like that rationale? Do you like how much credit you're getting from it? Does it feel good or worth it to you? That kind of thing. You could go like that. In itself could be a whole topic, so you could definitely discuss that. The price of the bundles, the gold bundles, right, are generally more okay because you can farm it in game. But the bundles that cost money, do you like the price of that? And even the gold bundles, do you like the price of those gold bundles? Is it something that makes you want to spend money in the game, not spend money in the game? They definitely love to know what would make you spend more money in the game. So if you like, oh, if this was more reasonable, the Momoko variant, it was 20, maybe if it was like maybe 25% cheaper, I might have went for it. That kind of stuff. They'll definitely take into consideration. Premium resource generation. So this is just gold generation, essentially. The gold generation, you're guaranteed 200 a week, I believe, and then you'll also get some from the reserves and the caches. So do you like how much you're generating per week? Do you think it could be more, especially when you compare how much bundles you're supposed to be you're getting in a month, and how much gold you're getting in a month? Your gold kind of is not anywhere close to how much bundles they want you to spend. So you could definitely talk about if it's a bit, maybe too stingy, or if you like how it's currently. I mean, players are not going to be like, I want less. Like, they're going to say, give me more gold. But if it matters to you, you can talk about it. Essentially, I'm just giving you things to consider. A competitive rank mode. So this is like no bots in there. just fighting other players in a competitive format? Does that matter to you? Do you want to talk about that? Collection track clutter. So collection track clutter, I'm talking about the titles, the avatars, etc. that you're getting in the collection track that doesn't really help you with progression. Do you like that there's so much of that in there? Do you want less of that? Do you like the titles? Do you like the avatars? Do you want the avatars to be cooler, more shiny animation, that kind of thing? That might be something to talk about. Do you want the titles to be more unique? Do you want like custom titles? That also might be something to talk about. Progression system. So just how the progression system works, and that you have to use boosters to progress, and then also like how much the boosters are requires to get into the next card, etc. Do you like the speed of progression? Do you like the way it works? That kind of thing is something you could consider talking about. The communication with the game, right? Like a lot of the content creators do a lot of work, right, to kind of make sure you're up to date on what things are happening. If they didn't really post and you weren't following them, it's hard to know this even. Like even this survey would be available unless you're looking at a content creator, you saw this video. Do you want more communication? Like I tried to check whether there was a way you would know this survey was happening if if you were just a casual player, and I really saw no evidence of it. Maybe the Discord. I actually haven't fully checked if they put something on the Discord. So let me do that right now. Let me do that right now. See if they put something in the Discord. So just taking a look right now, it does not look like it does not look like they put it in the Discord even. So that's also a little bit weird. It is in the Discord actually, okay. But it's not in the game announcements. It's in the social announcements, which isn't like something people always look at, but it is there. So at least they did put it in the Discord. So I'll give them some credit for that for sure. But if you're not in the Discord, then you wouldn't know that. But still, I do think the communication could be a little bit better. Anyways, this is not an important point. The series the series system. Do you like that? There's a series 1, series 2, series 3, series 4, series 5, that kind of thing. And do you want them to kind of change it or make it better, right? Like the way it works, there could like theoretically be a series 6. I don't think they're even considering that in the future, but it's set up for that eventually. For like these super premium cards, maybe they want to make very, very exclusive, because they do like people not having all the cards, and people still get all the cards even with the series 5 system. So you could talk about whether you like it or whether you want to change it in some way. PC client, there's no PC client. It's really just an emulator for uh, iOS, Android, but it's not elegant, especially if you try to stream the game and you haven't done any changes. It just doesn't look good, in my opinion. So definitely think they want to add a PC client where you could find the survey, because you can't even find the survey if you play on the PC. So that kind of thing is just like not really acceptable. There's no inbox. You can't get any rewards they want to give you. That kind of thing. It's like kind of weird. The Series 5 pity. There's no pity for Series 5 cards, so that is a little bit sad, where you can go thousands of collection levels and not get a single Series 5, where other people can be getting Series 5s. Even though the Series 5 rate is also very low, you might want to talk about the Series 5 rate itself, but also the Series 5 pity system, them not being one. But yeah, you could also just talk about Series 5, that it takes so long to even get one. You basically have to get most of your Series 5 through the token system, which feels like a weird system to have. That blah 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 blah. Rank difficulty. Some people just think rank is too hard, the way that it's set up right now, where you're really fighting everyone and there's not really a way to catch up, especially if you're fighting very difficult opponents, blah 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 blah, and your opponents are just like using all the meta stuff. You can't really test out new deck lists, so that could be something you want to talk about. Social features, so like friends lists, being able to talk to people, communicate, have a guild or whatever. There's a ton of social things that people like to have. So if you like that, you want to talk about that, you can put it in there. Spectate feature. So this kind of bridges on the friend list system. If there's a friend list system, spectate would be great in terms of making it easier for tournament organizers to kind of have the um, the information easier, because right now you need to do something a little bit convoluted, and it's not as easy to set up a tournament. Though tournaments will do it, but it's a little bit harder if you have a spectate feature. It's a lot easier to kind of be consistent in that. And then token acquisition rate, just like card acquisition rate, the tokens, especially if you haven't completed Series 3, is very, very low, very slow, very sluggish. I do think the token Tuesdays are helping a lot for that, but if that doesn't stick around, well, then you're back to this very, very slow system. So definitely could be something you want to discuss, something you want to talk about, make a little bit better. So yeah, that's a lot to talk about, but I just wanted for you guys to be informed, for you guys to have opinions. I don't want to kind of dictate your opinions by doing it on a video like this, but I did want to just say, hey, these are the things you could talk about. These might matter, and hopefully you guys do use it. Do go into your website and start answering these questions, because these questions are important, and they will look at the feedback. Like, this is something that companies will actually look through, where sometimes you're screaming on Twitter or Reddit, and then you're just screaming through a void. They do read it, but it's like, these Reddit users, like, let me be honest. So this might give them a more concrete data, where they're like, okay, look at all the people that are not happy with this, let's work towards this. So hopefully you guys use this, you guys take advantage of this opportunity whenever it's available. And that's all I have to say for it. If you want to watch me do it, I'm probably going to do it today, so probably tomorrow when you get this. But maybe check the Twitch VOD if you want to see my reaction to it. But I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Educated calling snap. Once you watch him, you won't go back. He'll teach you tomorrow, snap. Your skills will be